Y'all, look at this yummy pie. Listen, I've got us another little old-timey recipe. And honey, it's called Shoofly Pie. And it started back in the 1800s because it was just a cheap little recipe for them to have a little dessert in Pennsylvania with the Amish people. So honey, if you're from Pennsylvania, hey, I can't wait to try this little pie. So let's get started. Okay, first we're gonna start with just a little crumble crust that we're gonna put in the bottom of our little pre-made pie crust. And you gotta make sure it's a deep dish, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start out with 1 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. Next, 1 cup of brown sugar. Okay, we're gonna get the flour and the brown sugar incorporated together. Okay, y'all, you know we gotta have some butter in it. We're gonna put us a 3/4 cup of softened, and I'm using salted butter in this, and we're gonna cut it in to the flour and the brown sugar. Okay, so what we're gonna do, you can use a fork if you don't have one of these, but I'm gonna cut mine in. Honey, I've even used my hands to cut it in. Okay, what we're gonna do next, we're gonna put some of this little crumble we just made into the bottom of our pie crust. We'll just cover the bottom, okay? Okay, now that we've got this on the bottom, our little crumble, we're gonna set it aside. Now we're gonna go to making our molasses filling. So what we got here, we got a whole cup of molasses. Now before some of you send me an ugly text telling me if I'd sprayed that with some oil, it would have come out easier. Honey, I did, but it ain't coming out easier. Molasses is pretty thick. Next, we're gonna add us 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda and 1 mixed up egg. Then we're just gonna whisk this together. Next, we're gonna add us 3/4 cup of hot water, just tap water. Don't have to be boiling, because if it is, then you'll mess up the eggs. Now we're just gonna mix this up. Okay, now we're gonna pour it on top of this crust that we layered in the bottom of our pie shell. Now didn't that fit perfect right there? All right, now what we're gonna do, you remember the little crumble that we made? We're gonna put it on top. Now y'all, I ain't never made this, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. Okay, y'all, let me tell you, you're gonna preheat your oven to 400, and you're gonna bake it on 400 for about 15 minutes, and then you're gonna cut it back after 15 minutes to 350 for 30 minutes. Now, y'all notice it's spilling out, but I went by the ingredients, so I could have cut back a little bit on the liquid, but hey, I think it's gonna be yummy, and it smells scrumptious. Okay, let's get it in the oven. Now, earlier I told you I might have to cut back on the little liquid because it was spilling over. Honey, not a drip fell out of it, so don't cut back. It amazed me how this all stayed in there. I can't wait for everybody to try this, but Nanny Shell's gonna try it right now. I'm gonna cut a little piece and maybe nobody will notice. You need to get you a little cup of coffee if you drink coffee, or a glass of milk, and sit down to this yummy pie. But I'm gonna tell you, you better be careful because you might have to shoo the flies away from it because it is yummy. Y'all go make it, share it with your friends and family, and you always remember to smile because God sure does love you, and baby, He's got this no matter what.